सो फ्रेंड्स, माय रिटायर्ड लाइफ फाउंडेशन तरफ से आप सबका हार्दिक स्वागत है। और जैसे कि आपको पता है कि माय सबकी सुनो प्रोग्राम is a program where everybody can share their views and thoughts on a particular topic, 3 to 4 minutes time, and it gives an interesting platform. People who want to speak, they can speak. I mean, it's a good platform which we have tried to create for the last, let's say, about a year or so. So may I call upon the first speaker of the evening, N.K. Agarwal sir?
Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yeah, audible.
So, good evening, everybody. And I thank MRL to give me this platform. I am going to share with you an episode from our ancient scriptures. This is Shiva beheads Brahma. Emerging from Brahma's body, Manu was his son and Brahmi his daughter. But a curse is a curse and it knows no ties. Once uttered, it becomes a part of natural law and must come to pass, inexorable as an arrow inching closer and closer. Narad had spoken, and his words, "You shall desire what must not be desired." The curse came into effect now as Brahma began desiring his own daughter. Brahmi was a woman of exceedingly beauty, and the creator became besotted with his own creation. His flesh was now craving his own flesh. As soon as Brahmi stood before him to pay her respect, she realized his intentions. His eyes were not excusing love, but lust, insatiable lust. The daughter immediately moved to Brahma's right to avoid his gaze. Lo and behold, a second head sprouted on that side of the god, so that he could continue looking at her. She shifted to his left, and a third head sprung forth. She moved again to stand behind him, and a fourth head emerged from there. Thoroughly exasperated now, Brahmi rose high up in the air, but the creator's passion knew no bounds. Finding a fifth head bloomed right atop his other four heads, yearning for her. Finding their sister in distress and their father shaming himself, Marichi and Atri hastened to warn him. You are the Creator Supreme. How can you harbor such feelings towards your own daughter? Alas, Narad's curse was way more potent. Its claws so fastened over Brahma that he began to chase Brahmi. She kept running hither and thither, but there seemed to be no escape from her father. In a desperate bid to foil him, the woman began transforming herself into animal forms. She turned into a cow, but Brahma turned himself into a bull. She became a mare, and he became a stallion. She became a duck, and he became a drake. She turned into a dog, and he turned into a buck. This went on and on as she morphed into 100 creatures: reptiles, insects, birds, animals of air, land, river, and sea. And every time he bewitched, Creator kept turning into her male counterpart. Since Brahmi thus took 100 forms, she acquired her name Shatrupa. A furious Shiva materialized and began to condemn Brahma. The Creator came to his senses now. He begged forgiveness, but the destroyer's rage boiled over, and he severed Brahma's fifth head off top, leaving him with only four. Such wild thoughts are unworthy of pardon, Shiva hissed. From now on, your 4 mouths shall forever keep reciting the Vedas to repent for today. Suddenly, the destroyer paused. Something was clinging to his left hand. He glanced down to find the Creator's severed head stuck to him. Shiva frowned, but the next moment he realized that decapitating Brahma had amounted to Brahmahatya, killing of Brahman. The rules of Brahmanda apply equally to all. The destroyer began roaming throughout the universe now, but found no remedy. The head remained stuck. Time passed, and he set foot on earth. Suddenly, a miracle came to pass. At one place, the skull detached from his hand and fell on the ground. The site became Kashi or Varanasi. Not long after, Manu found Shatrupa in a pensive mood. What ails you, beloved? Now please give attention. These are the few lines which are very emotional. I fear, replied the mother of Kavandihood. I fear now to beget the female race. If a father can endanger his own daughter, who shall keep them safe? I fear now to give them beauty, for men might disrobe them. I fear now to give them wisdom, for men might degrade them. I fear now to give them choices, for men might disown them. I fear now to give them power, for men might destroy them. She moved away from him. I fear, Manu, I fear. Thank you.
Mute, mother mute करायचं.
Agarwal ji,
Haji.
possibly your story is a very fascinating story. I didn't know the full story actually. Fascinating story. So the women, what do you call, probably the story of the women weakness started from those days only. Anyway,
No,
I think let's.
In fact, she says that she's afraid to give birth to the humankind because men will be able to be after him only, after her.
That means even in 21st century, we talk about the women empowerment, we talk about the right thing only. It started such a
देख लो ऑन है देख के गाइड मत करो अभी उसके ऊपर मत
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can
Thank
I request the next speaker, Mr. Ramani Iyer, sir?
Thank you. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you're audible.
स्टैंडर्ड क्वेश्चन
Okay.
Can I request
Thank you.
एक minute, sir? Can I request all others to please mute themselves? There's a lot of disturbance going on. Yeah, yes, Ramani sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Sengupta sir. Good evening, friends. I got yet another opportunity to share my thoughts on the MRL platform. Today, I am going to talk on a topic which is close to the taste buds of many of us. I am going to talk on the most popular breakfast dish, idli. Some may consider this topic frivolous, but I am sure at the end of my talk, you would have heard many lesser known details of the ubiquitous breakfast food, idli. It is lovingly made in every household and it is sold as a street food and eaten in posh restaurants also. And idli has become very popular and timeless across many countries of the world. What is surprising is that this idli did not originate from India. There are varied theories on the origin of idli. According to a 7th century Chinese Buddhist monk, Yuan Shuang, who spent many years traveling around India, the Indian people neither knew the method nor had the utensils for the steaming style of cooking. Food historian K.T. Achaya reckons that the idli could have come to India between the 8th and 12th centuries from present-day Indonesia, a part of which was ruled by Hindu kings belonging to 3 Indian dynasties. In fact, idli is very similar to a preparation called kedli in Indonesia. The Indian cooks from the royal household may have returned home with the recipe of kedli, which had fermentation as an essential process. There is a mention of iddalade in a 9th century Kannada language work by Shivalokacharya. In later writings, one of the kings, Someshwara III, details a recipe called iddarike, but the ingredients and process used in modern day idli are very different from those mentioned in the earlier works. These origins are questioned by Lizzie Collingham, a professor from Oxford University, who attributes the origins of idli to the Arab traders who eventually settled along the South Indian coast. She claims that since these Arab settlers were not confident of getting halal food in India, they ended up bringing the steamed rice balls with coconut chutney to India as a recipe. Integrating rice with urad dal appears to have occurred considerably later. Perhaps it did not originate elsewhere, but developed in one of the southern states. It is also said that Ghazni Muhammad attacked the Somnath temple in the 10th century, and the Saurashtrian merchants shifted to southern India, and the dokla of Saurashtra became idli with fermentation added as an extra process. The original name of idli is believed to be idli itself, deriving from the Tamil word ittu, meaning to steam. No matter what the origins of idli are, it is undoubtedly one of the most popular Indian dishes and has been able to woo our hearts and taste buds with its flavors. The Defense Food and Research Laboratory, which is an Indian defense laboratory of the DRDO, curated space idlis along with sambar powder and chutney powder that was carried to space by the astronauts during India's first manned space mission. Idli is considered as harmless health food and is recommended for patients and neonatal mothers. Recently, I was hospitalized for a few days, and the diet prescribed for me was diet food. I was pleasantly surprised when the hospital's kitchen served me idli fried with some leafy vegetables in the breakfast tray. The state of Karnataka gave birth to the Samolina idli, popularly known as the Rave idli. Driven by a shortage of rice during the World War, an enterprising restaurant in Bengaluru used semolina as a substitute to make idlis purely as a wartime innovation. However, this product subsequently became their flagship product. There are many variations of the idli, and there are many in this group who have the skills to talk on the family of idli recipes. Although coconut chutney and sambar are the accompaniments to the simple idli, there are many who enjoy idli with milagai podi, which is a spicy powder mixed in oil. In fact, idli slathered in a layer of milagai podi used to be carried by families during long travels. We all know that the basic input for idli is the fermented batter. Idli batter used to be made every day as there were no refrigerators in the earlier years. Making the batter involved the laborious process of grinding the batter as women sat in front of large stone grinders, leftly turning the pestle with one hand as they slid the grains using the other. Sometime in the 50s, a mechanic from the city of Coimbatore decided to automate the grinding process to reduce the burden on women. Using an external motor, he designed the grinder such that the bottom vessel moved circularly as the pestle remained still. Since this prototype was bulky and expensive, it was adopted by restaurant and large kitchens only. Over the time, many manufacturers work on the equipment, making them more compact. Today, sleek tabletop versions of the grinders have become common sight. I understand that the tabletop grinders of Coimbatore have been given the geographical indication tag, earning a stamp of authenticity for this unique invention. Today, this product has become a ubiquitous domestic appliance in most domestic kitchens. However, these days, ready-made batter is sold in neighborhood grocery shops, making it easier for the working women of present days. In fact, Bengaluru city boasts of a state-of-the-art facility to make batter on a large scale, producing batter to make 2.4 million idlis per day. Ready-mix instant idli powders were introduced, which could be mixed with fermented curd and readily steamed. With these developments, idlis became a household name and very popular, and the effort required to make the idlis had considerably reduced. There have been innovations in the molds also. The traditional hemispherical mold have yielded place to square and triangular shaped molds to make the shapes attractive to the children. For the last few years, the World Idli Day is commemorated on the 30th of March every year. According to recent analysis shared by Uber Eats and Swiggy, on the basis of the order placed by consumers, Bangalore places the highest number of idli order and emerges as the idli capital of India. On the basis of the research shared by Uber Eats, which has presence in 38 cities across the world, Bengaluru consumes more idlis, followed by Mumbai, Chennai, Pune, and Hyderabad. On February 13, 2019, a consumer in Mumbai had ordered a whopping 110 plates of idlis. Globally, San Francisco, London, and New Jersey are the top idli ordering cities. I'm sure Idli had penetrated into 10 Downing streets when Sunak was the resident there. US Vice President Kamala Harris has already talked many times, recalling her visits to her maternal home in Chennai and her liking for Idli. From my personal experience, I would like to mention that the temple town of Madurai in Tamil Nadu was the pioneer in having 24 by 7 idli shops all over the city, serving idli to tourists and locals at any time of the day or night. As per a Swiggy report, the number of idlis for dinner is increasing day by day. I would like to end my talk on a very positive note. The credit for making idli affordable to the needy and the underprivileged goes to an octogenarian lady named Kamala Tal and a resident of an outskirt village of Coimbatore city. She sells around 600 idlis per day at just 1 rupee per piece. Her selfless service and low margin business model is really commendable. She is affectionately called Idli Amma. Then, dear friends, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? If idli comes, can dosa be far behind? I am sure someone will come up with a talk on dosa in one of the subsequent Suno sessions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ramani sir. I was really flabbergasted by the type of the research you have done on making a presentation on the topic of idli. And I'm sure you can only make a presentation on dosa next time. But the mystery still remains that who invented idli. You know, you talked about Indonesia, you talk about Arab, I mean to say the merchants, but I think that remains a matter of research because we take a pride in the idli capital of the world and we are not the inventors of idli. So I think we need to do a more research to find out who invented idli and which year. Thank you very much, Mr. Ramani, for giving this exhaustive talk.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Next speaker is Bhavna Bhatia. I don't think she is there. Bhavna Bhatia, madam, are you there? Okay, we assume she is not there. So we go to the next speaker, Ujjwal Roy, sir.
Okay. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, very much.
Yeah, okay. Good evening, everybody. And good evening, all respected MRL members. My speech will start with a story, actually. The story finally gives to us some conclusion, some moral, maybe. So this story goes like this. Once there was a king, and once there was a talk going on in the market that some doll maker has come to the kingdom and he is selling a unique kind of dolls. And he is claiming कि मेरा पास जो doll है that is unique and nobody can make a better doll and it is very different from others. So definitely finally the king was also, it came to the king's notice also, and he was very interested to know what are the dolls and he wanted to see it. So the doll maker was invited to the capital in front of the king's darbar, and the doll maker finally came out with three dolls, and surprisingly the three dolls looked identical, exactly identical. All मतलब बिल्कुल same देखने का है, and then everybody was started seeing the dolls and nobody could make out any difference. Then he has been asked the price. तो उन्होंने बताया कि the first doll is let's say comparatively it is 1,000 rupees, and the second doll is 100 rupees, and third doll is 10 rupees. So everybody was very surprised. They cannot find anything different from each other. So how there can be a difference? So the king also was very puzzled. Finally, he took help of his very intelligent minister. Everywhere in the kingdom, earlier kingdom, there used to be a good intelligent minister, an intelligent advisor. So he was called and he examined all the three dolls. So what he found is he asked for some thread-like thing, like a string, wire, very fine wire sort of thing. And what he did is he put one wire into one of the doll's ear, and he noticed that the ear was just going out from the other ear. That is one of the observation. Rest everything was okay. If he put one ear and the string was coming out of the other ear directly, and in between there was some speech, very hazy. The doll was talking also something. His lips were moving, but not very recognizable. This was the first doll. The second doll, when the wire was put inside the one ear, so the doll started speaking something, but only after some time. After some pause of few seconds, everybody was astonished why the doll is not speaking. After some time, the doll started speaking, and he spoke for few seconds only, few words and few sentences, and he stopped. And this was the second observation. And the third doll was exactly different. And when some wire was put in his ear, the doll's ear, he started talking and talking endlessly. After maybe couple of minutes only, he stopped. So then the intelligent minister finally told the king that now I understood the difference between the dolls. The one doll is actually whatever he listens, he actually passes into the other ear. He's not at all bothered. Whatever people he's listening to in the surrounding, he just listens and doesn't care. He passes on to the next other ear and forgets. And another kind of doll, whatever he hears, he just talk gossiping. Means whenever he hears something, he starts gossiping, and he talks too much, gossiping and talking too much on that subject. And the third doll, when something was put in this thing, and he was just talking only, he took some time to understand what he is hearing. And after the understanding only, he speaks only few words which are actually required to be talked. So now he has told the king that I understood why there is a difference between the price, because the who actually understand everything and speak something, and that speech is meaningful and very pleasant to others, he is definitely liked by others, and he is the most precious person or precious doll. And the other one who just talks nonsense, he is the least one, and who just doesn't bother what others are saying, is something in between. So actually it resembles to our life situation, where we find people like this. So the lesson is, we should we should listen to people what they are talking, and then speech. Maybe because it is told that speech hurts more than the talwar sometimes. Even the talwar is softer than the speech. When it is a hatred speech or something we tell very violently, it hurts people. So that was the story. I think people will like it. Thank you so much.
Ujjwal Rai Sahab, I can tell my part of it that I liked it very much because of two reasons. One is storytelling has become an important art of giving the messages. So your story gave a lot of messages about hearing, listening, and other things.
Thank you.
The second, which you talked about, the clear message that the listening is an integral part of communication.
Yes, sir.
Good listeners are good communicators. That is very, very true. That is a well-researched concept, that if you cannot listen to others, you cannot become a good communicator. So thank you very much for telling these things through the story. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
मैं रिक्वेस्ट थी हमारे अगले स्पीकर मोदी साहब.
Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity. One day, I was passing through a road of garden maintained by NMMC in Sector 15 of CBD Belem. I found that along the wall there has been some forest has come up. So I became very curious, and later on I came to know that this is the Miyawaki forest actually grown by the NMMC. So I thought that I must share about the Miyawaki forest. What is it? What's its method? What is its advantage? So actually, Dr. Akira Miyawaki of Japan, a botanist and expert in studying natural forests and restoring their native vegetation, developed the ecological engineering technique popularly known as Miyawaki method in the early 1970s for the restoration of indigenous forests in Japan using native tree species. Miyawaki method is one of the best and efficient technique for quickly establishing a forest cover on degraded land that has previously been used for construction or agriculture or on barren land. It works well because it follows the principles of natural forestry, which include implying local plants and imitating the process of how forests regenerate naturally as compared to more conventional method of forest plantation. It has been now adopted worldwide. Then question is, or you must be curious, what is the Miyawaki forest? It is finding a space that is at least 3 to 4 meters wide and receives plenty of sunlight. Preferably 8 hours or more is the first step in this. The soil is then prepared so that it has the necessary nutrients for growth. Usually, perforators like a wheat husk or maize husk are utilized along with cocoa peat, which aids in soil moisture retention to allow water to infiltrate into the soil. The soil can also be fertilized with manure or organic fertilizers. To build a biodiverse forest habitat, the next stage is to select different kind and native species of plant seedlings such as for India, neem, jamun or tamarind, etc. Plants of different species should ideally be planted together to prevent the planting of duplicate saplings. The saplings of minimum height of 60 to 80 centimeters should also be planted in multiple layers, with the first layer being a shrub which grows up to 6 feet tall, the second a subtree which grows up to nearly 12 feet tall, the third a tree which grows up to 25 feet tall, and the fourth a canopy layer which can go up to 40 feet. Then bamboo sticks should be connected to the saplings so that they stay upright, and they should be planted with about 60 centimeters space between them. After planting is complete, watering the patch every day. Requirement of Miyawaki forest: one must seed plants very close to save space and dense plant growth. This will allow this will also allow young trees to protect each other and block sunlight from hitting the forest ground, preventing parasitic plant growth. The process attains plant growth 10 times faster and vegetation 30 times denser than usual. We must maintain such a forest for at least 3 years according to the Miyawaki method. In 3 years, the forest is fully grown. After that, no very harsh maintenance is required. Now, then what is the advantage between our conventional forest and this Miyawaki forest? Rapid growth and high density. Second is thriving habitat and biodiversity. Third is carbon absorption and climate change mitigation. Fourth is soil enrichment. Fifth is noise and air pollution reduction. Sixth is water retention and prevention of water pollution. Seventh is regulation of surface temperatures. In India, in June 2009, Toyota developed the first Miyawaki forest of India in 4-hectare land around their manufacturing plant located at Bidadi town of Bangalore in Karnataka state with the technical assistance of Dr. Miyawaki. Bhuj, we know that it has been devastated in 2001 earthquake. Now it has been transformed into green Miyawaki forest from barren land. Thus, Miyawaki forests have been developed in many states in India to mitigate deforestation. And it is the answer for afforestation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Modi Sahab, talking about a very relevant, important, and contemporary issue of Miyawaki forest. And I'm not sure because I read somewhere that the India's largest Miyawaki forest is in Hyderabad, Shamshedabad, which is just away from the Hyderabad city. I think
Yes.
that is India's largest. And there is a lot of experimentation going on the Miyawaki forest all over the world, actually. Because traditional forests take a long time. There's a Miyawaki for hardly 2-3 years time. So the replacement of the traditional forest with the Miyawaki forest, the new experimentation going on all over the world. So thank you very much, Modi Sahab, for bringing this
Thank you, sir.
to our. Thank you very much. May I request our next speaker, Vijay Lakshmi Madam. Vijay Lakshmi Madam. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, yes, now I did it.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Good evening, Sengupta sir and Samantha Di, for giving me yet another opportunity in this special program of Sabki Suno. Thanks to the MRL team for organizing such a wonderful program, and to all friends of the MRL family. Special thanks to Samantha Di and Veena, who's my friend, who's not there, I know today. Okay. Yes, poetry offers solace for the soul, for the lonely, and a positive perspective on being alone. This poem is an introduction to the poetic revolution that brought common people to literature's highest peaks. I wandered lonely as a cloud, also called Daffodils, is a lyric poem by William Wordsworth. This poem is one of the most popular poems and was inspired by a forest encounter. He was accompanied by his sister Dorothy and a long belt of daffodils. These 24 lines lyrics was written in 1804 and revised version in 1815 and published in the same year. Yeah, so I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. They stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. They stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in a pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. And yeah, this is here. Yeah, here the poet concludes the poem with his perspective of romanticizing with daffodils. Thank you very much. Hope. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. This is, yeah, Ratna Mehta's rightly writing that brought the memory of the childhood. It was one of the most popular poems by William Wordsworth. And actually, when he was traversing along with the Dorothy, his sister, in that near that what you call river, the forest. So then the idea started. The beauty mystified him, and he started writing this. It's one of the great poets of the William Wordsworth. Thank you very much, madam, for bringing out this particular poetry. Thanks a lot. May I request our next speaker, Jaya Gopal, madam.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everybody. I'm going to talk on the topic Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. Meaning, be one for whom the mother is God, father is God, teacher is God, and the guest is God. With age comes a wealth of knowledge and experiences. Parents are strong pillars of support, and they will stand by through good and challenging times, and they are our biggest cheerleaders. Most of us have lived in a joint family and taken the best lessons from our ancestors, but now with the nuclear family concept, they are missing out on all this. Here is a heart-touching story of mother and son. The son, after his father's death, decided to leave his mother at an old age home and visited her on and off. Once he received a call from the old age home saying that his mother is very serious. So he went running and saw her and asked her what can he do for her. She requested him to install some more fans and also a fridge to keep the food fresh because many a time she slept without food. She also said, I have managed with heat, hunger, pain, but when your children will send you here, I'm afraid you will not be able to manage. So even during her last few hours, she is constantly thinking about the children. So this is what is happening for us also. Showing love and respect for our parents sets a positive example for other family members too. A guru is considered as our second mother. The first mother gives birth to our physical self, whereas guru gives birth to our mental self. The guru is the guiding hand that sees us through a spiritual and righteous life by developing soul, mind, and intellect. So here is a story. There lived a Mahatma called Angiras in a forest. He had many disciples. Among them, there were some who had learned faster than the others and followed the route suggested by the Guru. But there were some who were jealous of them. They went up to him and asked, Guru Dev, it appears you're teaching something special to your favorite students. Why don't you give the same knowledge to us also? Guru wanted to prove them that he is teaching the same things for everyone. He told he will keep a test for this. He told them to go to the nearby village and find one good person for it. Finding the test very simple, they went enthusiastically and but at the end, but unfortunately, whomever they met were all involved in some form of sin. After searching a lot, they said, Gurudev, we are sorry. We could not find even one person who had not committed a crime. Guru said, okay, let me send the other group. They also came empty-handed and said with folded hands, please pardon us, Guruji. We scanned the nearby village, but we did not find a single bad person. And further said, every person has done at least one good deed. Guru then told, my dear students, this is that borderline that differentiate between two of you. This way, Guru taught them to face life and its challenges. They learned the lesson, complete surrender to your Guru will lead to success. So my pranams to all the Gurus present here. Here I want to highlight that our Sengupta sir and Samata madam also is continuously encouraging all of us to come forward and share our views and with others. Result is we gain lot of confidence. The third is the guest. I remember my childhood days. We were staying in Sion near old SI's college. Our house was in ground floor and always open. Friends and relatives would barge in any time without any appointment, or our parents welcomed them with open arms, unlike the present scenario where we have to fix an appointment, find a place, time, and then to find time to entertain them. Even now, we follow the custom of welcoming a guest by offering a flower, which is a gesture of goodwill. When the guest departs, the flower symbolizes the sweet memories of the visit, which stays with them for several days. Atithi Devo Bhava is also the tagline of campaign in India to treat tourists as God and to develop a sense of responsibility towards our guests. To further enhance the number of tourists traveling to India, the Tourism Department of India started Atithi Deva Bhava campaign with the theme Incredible India. This will give a boost to tourism industry. Namaste is the customary Indian greeting that is not only used to welcome guests, but also acknowledge strangers. It expresses courtesy, honor, gratitude, and hospitality to other persons. We always welcome guests, but sometimes there comes an odd situation wherein we will have to think of Atithi, tum kab jaoge. Let me conclude. मुश्किलों से कहिए, आइए, पधारिए, खाइए, पीजिए, भरपूर आनंद उठाइए, लेकिन कुछ पल बाद बिना कुटकुटाए शांति से वापस चले जाइए. Thank you so much, sir, giving us the opportunity to take up this platform and share our views. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jai Gopal, madam. I think you talked about the Indian values, three most important Indian values: respect for elders, the respect for Guru, and the respect for Atithi. I think these three things, they imbibe and they talk about the integration of the Indian values and culture. Very good to remind all of us, actually. We do, but sometimes, modern day constraints, sometimes we're not in a position to do. But we should go back to the roots and try to invite them.
Yeah,
It's a
we
great
should.
talk. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir.
Can I request अपने next speaker evergreen Naveen Duggal ji?
Namaskar, good evening.
Namaskar.
I'm very happy to speak to each one of you, is soul-to-soul connectivity. Last time I spoke on many 5-6 points which Dr. Sengupta truly expressed and blessed me, and all of you blessed me. I will just not take much time. Do you know why are we attending this my retired life? It is two things. We were all life used to the routines of our jobs, family, karma law, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Today we are having freedom. Thanks to Dr. Sengupta for channelizing our dopamine level. That is our wishes and how to channelize music, emotions, feelings, heartbeat, medical, everything. You should say he is the master guru of dopamine detox. We have spoken on each angle of Indian values, Hinduism, this, that, and all the other scientific and religious and other levels. So I will just come to see and share some points. We know that in childhood until the last, we had this goal setting because we had a purpose of life. Today, what is the purpose of life? When you reclaim your focus and use it to achieve your biggest goal. Now, what is your biggest goal? Is it finance? Is it your house? Is it your children, grandchildren? These are called worldly attachments. So to reduce this, we go to detachment by listening to Gita, Gyan, blah, blah, whatever you do. Visit the religious places, go to the temple, go to the Gurdwara, go to the church, mosque, anywhere. But it is you and your mind that matters. So to detox yourself, you have to do your own self-analysis. What is applicable and suitable for me? First, sit down and write down. Because we always speak, that is not for me. That lecture is not for me. Why should I waste time? I only like to be intoxicated with the dopamine level, means the urge, or the craving for only music only and not for others. How can I help you? Have you ever thought? How can I help myself? Have you ever thought? Where do I stand if I start shouting? So we do is overstimulation, overdose of medicine, overdose of this knowledge from TV, media, mobile, friends, vagara, vagara. I will not talk about it. I don't want to give advice. Only I wanted to say, okay, you did your meditation, you did, but did you identify what is your requirement first? How would I do time management for elderly people? That is the key of success. If you have attended our whatever Dr. Sengupta and each one of you is a wonderful diamond shaped soul. They have given their best and we are together. And that oneness is to be admired and appreciated. But after listening, we said, Are Bara Jala, that's enough. But how much percentage do we really implement into day-to-day life? This is the essence which I get passion. To be honest, this what I'm speaking is all natural by God's grace. But I got read this dopamine detox, and I said, "Oh my God, Dr. Sengupta has just written so many articles worldwide in Prepared Journal. Maybe tomorrow there will be a book coming. Maybe tomorrow another lecture. He's a world speaker. So why we do not just first of all thank him and then tap ourselves? शुक्र है भगवान हमें अच्छे लोग मिल गए. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का काम है कहना whether it is politics whether you stay in the neighbor, but that beautiful thought, that thing you please carry forward. Don't get let down by your children or neighbor. लोग क्या कहेंगे? Accept the change. When I say accept the change, doesn't mean that you start wearing, going to the gym, blah blah. No. What is required by you? What is walk, talk, and food habits, medicine. Now, in medicine, what happens is a marketing gimmick that they know about the truth about your feeling. अरे इसको तो मालूम नहीं होएगा. और हमारे में दूसरी एक भाषा में कहते हैं येड़े बन के पेड़े खाते, मराठी में बोलते येड़े बन के पेड़े खा तो खा. तो ऐसा बोलने का मतलब don't be just whims and fancies of people. And also, other than just admiring, let me see the best tool for a simple life. Fear with no reason and love with no expectation. Number one. Number two, which my very close colleague N.K. Agarwal has mentioned there somewhere. You were born to stand out. Stop trying to fit in. You are a bravo. You can do anything if you will. The passion, the dedication, and the hard work, and the systematic channelizing your energy at the present is to be done, and do it in small stages, baby steps. I have said this point previously. And the last thing which we always say, nothing is permanent in your world. Just be a God person. Love who you can. Help where you can. And give what you can. I'm just saying, give a helping hand and a big smile on your face and tap yourself. Thank God we are part of that Sangha Chatvam. Thank you very much, Dr. Sen Gupta, and each one of you for giving me this precious time. So detox, different ways of breathing exercise, blah, 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 do it. But do it in small doses. Don't overdose it, because something will be good for your health, something will not be good for health. Then another thing is restlessness or sleepless evenings or nights happens not because of your something is wrong with you. You are so much charged up that we do not use our energy at all. And youngsters are not there to listen. So what do? I take a telephone. Hello, may I help you? What is my friend, Mr. Swami? How can I help you? Acha. Listen, the capacity to listen, digest, and then to express and to implement. With that, I end my talk. Thank you very much. Each one is a hero or my heroine. अच्छा तो हम चलते हैं. Bye bye. Thank you very much, Dr. Sen.
Naveen ji, as usual, you talked in 3 minutes so many things actually. Find your purpose of life. Do what you want to do. Do what you think is right. You know, live a good life. Go lead an active life. Keep the spirituality in the mind, but at the same time, do what you want to do. I think you spoke a lot of things which are very, very important and relevant for the elderly. Thank you, Naveen. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. May we call upon the last speaker of the evening, once again an evergreen Sundari Madam. Sundari Madam, the floor is open to you. Sundari Madam, you have to unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself. You are muted.
Now?
Yeah. Now it's okay. Perfect.
Okay. I am the first time I'm speaking in the Sabki Suno, I think. Namaskar,
Yes,
sabko.
first time.
First time. I'm trying my best. मैं सोचती हूँ तो हिंदी में बात करूँ, क्योंकि हिंदी इज आवर नेशनल लैंग्वेज. वही वांट इंग्लिश तो आता ही है बीच बीच में, फिर भी आई एम ट्राइंग टू डू इन हिंदी. तो मैं ये ईगो एंड एटीट्यूड के बारे में बात करना चाहता हूँ. व्हाट इज ईगो एंड व्हाट इज एटीट्यूड? ईगो एंड एटीट्यूड में क्या फर्क है? ईगो इज अहंकार. अपने पूरे जीवन में हर किसी को कभी कभी अहंकार होता ही है. ऐसा नहीं है ईगो के बिना कोई नहीं है. मेरा हस्बैंड यूज्ड टू टेल मी, ईगो माइनस मनुष्य इज गॉड. ऐसा सबको होता ही है. लेकिन जब हम क्वांटिटी में हो, थोड़ा क्वांटिटी में ईगो होता है तो ओके, लेकिन ज्यादा होता है तो वो इट्स अ गुड एटीट्यूड बोलते हैं. और जैसे जैसे ये बढ़ना चाहता है वैसे ही अहंकार का रूप में ले आता है. देख, ईगो मतलब अपने को सब जानता है. ईगो वाला लोग बोलते हैं मैं सब जानता हूँ, आई नो एवरीथिंग. बट ठीक है, सब लोग अपने को वो सोचता है ईगो, विदाउट ईगो वाला भी मेरे को सब मालूम है. लेकिन ईगो वाला बोलते हैं आई ओनली नो, अदर्स डोंट नो एनीथिंग. मेरे को ही सब कुछ आता है, बाकी लोगों को कुछ भी नहीं आता है. मैं सबसे अच्छा हूँ. ऐसा लोग है ना, दूसरे किसी कोई भी नया चीज सीखने को नहीं सकते, क्योंकि दे नो एवरीथिंग. तो नया चीज सीखते नहीं है. जो ईगो लेस है उन लोग नया नया चीज सीखते हैं, नया लैंग्वेज सीखते हैं, नया नया तरीका लिविंग सीखते हैं। लेकिन ईगो वाला नहीं सीखते हैं, वो कहाँ है वही रहता है। लेकिन ईगो, बहुत ईगो होना भी अच्छा नहीं है। ईगो थोड़ा तो चाहिए, ज्यादा नहीं चाहिए। पहला अपने को तो ये इसको कम करने के लिए दो तरीका है। पहला अपनी तुलना अपने से बड़ा से करना, और दूसरा अपने से कम प्रति समानता का भाव में रखना। जैसा अभी अभी हम सोचते हैं हमको सब कुछ आता है, लेकिन दूसरे को भी सुनो ना। सुनेगा तो ही मालूम होता है अपने को कितना आता है, नहीं तो कैसा मालूम होगा। लेकिन ये लोग ईगो वाला लोग सुनने को तैयार ही नहीं है। दे डोंट हैव द लिसनिंग पावर, लिसनिंग कैपेबिलिटी नहीं है उन लोग को, बिकॉज दे थिंक दे नो एवरीथिंग। तो दूसरे का बात सुनते ही नहीं है। ये तो ठीक नहीं है। पहले बड़े दूसरे का बात सुनने का है, उसके बाद डिसाइड करो तुम्हारा ठीक है नहीं उसका ठीक है, ये डिसाइड करना ठीक है। तो अपने को नीचे वाला को भी थोड़ा टाइम देने का है अपने को सीखने के लिए। अगर एटीट्यूड एक, इसको एक कहावत है, अगर एटीट्यूड एक महाद्वीप है तो उसमें ईगो एक छोटा सा देश है। दिस इज कहावत है हिंदी। और ये एटीट्यूड दो पार्ट है, गुड एटीट्यूड एंड पॉजिटिव वे ऑफ एटीट्यूड एंड नेगेटिव वे ऑफ एटीट्यूड। तो लेकिन क्या है, लोग है इसमें अहंकार आता है तो बोलता है इसका एटीट्यूड देखो, उलझ जाता है। अहंकार का गलत में दृष्टिकोण से देखता है, इसका एटीट्यूड देखो कितना है, सबके सबसे के साथ मिलता जुलता नहीं है, इसको बहुत अहंकार है, ऐसा बोलते हैं। तो एटीट्यूड कभी कभी अहंकार का रूप में भी आ जाता है। इन एटीट्यूड कोई नेगेटिव शब्द नहीं है, बट ईगो नेगेटिव का दर्शाता है। ईगो वाला हमारे बोलना बोलना एवरीथिंग आई नो, दूसरे को कुछ नहीं आता है ये सोचता है। लेकिन एटीट्यूड वाला ऐसा नहीं करता है। एटीट्यूड इसका स्वभाव है, स्वभाव से बोलता है हम भी जानते हैं, दूसरे भी जानते हैं, हमको को जो जो जानते हैं वो मैं बोलती हूँ, नहीं दूसरे से नया नया चीज है तो मैं उससे उनसे भी सीखते हूँ। ये दिस इज एन एटीट्यूड, रवैया बोलते हैं हिंदी में इसे, इसे एटीट्यूड। जब को मैंने सभी नहीं देखा, ईगो में अलग 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 होता है। ईगो तो कम करने के लिए हमको बहुत चांस मिलता है। ईगो ज्यादा नहीं होने का, ज्यादा होने से लोग हमको हेट करते हैं। तो ईगो वाला ये बहुत ईगो वाला है, इसके पास जाना ही नहीं, इसके पास फ्रेंडशिप रखना ही नहीं, ऐसा बोलता है। पार्ट एंड प्रेजेंट ऑफ फ्यूचर। एनिमल्स को देखो, एनिमल्स को ईगो किधर है, उन लोग को कुछ भी नहीं है। तो उन लोग को जो अपना बायोलॉजिकल इसके लिए वो लोग दूसरे एनिमल को मार के खा लेते हैं, क्योंकि इस उसको बच्चों के लिए क्या पैसा रखने का है, उनको बच्चों के लिए ये करने का, ऐसा कुछ नहीं देखते हैं एनिमल्स। एनिमल्स को ईगो बिल्कुल नहीं है। उनको इकट्ठा करने का, कोई दूसरे बच्चे को इकट्ठा करके रखने का ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है। एटीट्यूड एक रवैया है, मनुष्य का स्वभाव है। इस स्वभाव को अच्छी तरह से रखना हमारा हाथ में ही है। तो हमारे हाथ में ईगो के बिना रहना भी आता है अच्छा अच्छा तरह से। लेकिन हमारे एक्सपीरियंस, एज का एक्सपीरियंस है, हम लोग अच्छी तरह से ईगो के बिना अच्छा एटीट्यूड से रह सकता है। इसे मैं मेरा बात कम 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 थैंक यू।
थैंक यू सुंदरी मैडम। आई थॉट दैट आपने बहुत अच्छा बोला। अंत का जो टॉक था काफी अच्छा था, क्योंकि हम लोग काफी इसके शिकारी हैं, दैट हम लोग को काफी ईगो होता है, काफी ईगो होता है, और उसके कारण अहंकारी बन जाते हैं, और उसके कारण बहुत रिलेशनशिप भी खराब हो जाते हैं, बहुत जगह पे बहुत तकलीफें भी होते हैं। एक्चुअली वी डोंट अंडरस्टैंड इट, बट अ लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स मेड बिकॉज ऑफ ईगो प्रॉब्लम। So thank you very much. Today we had a fascinating Sabki Suno program. So starting from the Wordsworth poem to the scripture to the story of Idli to the doll story of Ujjwal Roy to ego to Naveen Duggalji. I mean, we had a fascinating today story. We talked about various things. So thank you to very much to all the speakers and a wonderful audience. Grand evening. Thanks a lot. Look forward to seeing you again next month. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.